So with respect to that, let's move on to anti-predator interaction. Anti-predator interaction are usually the responses or the mechanisms that have been developed by the prey in order to avoid the predators. Similarly, it can be also called as different kind of mechanisms that predator overcomes to capture the prey. Okay, so all this interaction, the prey-predator interaction or the prey-predator responses are included in that as well. So it is essential for survival as well as for selection. So these kind of interaction actually frame selection, natural selection as well as sexual selection. Okay, so they're kind of different. So there are different kind of anti-predator responses. One can be avoidance, that is avoiding the predator, or deterrence, or warding off the predator, or distracting the predator or deterring the predator. There can be aggression, strength in numbers, when different organisms come together to form an aggressive system, or aggregatory system where some try to hide, some try to attack. So that kind of interaction, we'll study that in detail as well. Then there is retaliation. Retaliation talks about an interaction where you actually face the predator and retaliate. Okay, you defend yourself or kind of also attack the predator whenever required. Face the predator. Then comes escape. If nothing works out, you can eventually escape. So all these kind of strategies or all these kind of responses are pretty common in different kind of organisms. Now you can try to avoid it. When a predator comes in, you can try to avoid it. You can try to ward it off or distract it or deter it. You can call your friends to attack the predator, or get saved from the predator. Then you can retaliate. If nothing is working on, then you have to apply force to the predator, and if even that is not working, then you can always try and run out. Okay, so that sort of interaction, that sort of responses usually is pretty common with respect to prey and predators. So we'll study that in detail, starting with avoiding predators. So it is sort of first line of defense. Better avoid it. Don't face the predator. So how can you avoid it? There are many different kind of interactions or many different kind of responses that one can give. It can be like staying out of sight, hiding somewhere. Okay, usually when organisms stay inside burrows or caves or some kind of hidden places in order to hide from predators, and that is staying out of sight. Then comes camouflage. Camouflage is studied very much, and it is the use of different kind of backgrounds to hide themselves. So it is combination of materials. It can be coloration, it can be illumination. We'll be studying that in detail as well. Then there is masquerade. Masquerade is looking like something which is not eatable. Okay, so it can be dead leaves which are not eatable. It can be something which are not proper or dead, like that. Then comes apostatic selection. Apostatic selection is kind of selection, or very interesting, where an organisms appears as different from that of their normal things. So let's say so this is a group of there are, let's say, 5 grasshoppers. Okay, so usually the grasshopper appears like this, but one grasshopper is appearing like this. Okay, there is a blue dot in it. So what happens is, when these white tails or the great tails usually try to attack those, they are kind of unfamiliar with this kind of prey, because they don't know this blue spot wala thing. So what they do is they'll avoid it. So this is a sort of selection that it is negatively frequency dependent. Okay, so this is not like what others are doing. So this sometimes helps because different organisms have neophobia. So that sort of interaction, that sort of interesting interaction happens in few cases, and it is apostatic selection, where the prey tries to be different from that of the usual things, which allows it to be unattacked. Okay, now moving forward, when we talk about camouflage and crypsis, it's very interesting, and you can see it is very intriguing and amazing when we see it. So camouflage is the ability to avoid the predator by blending in with the background. Okay, so there are two different terms, camouflage and crypsis. People usually get confused with each of it. Now the first, for example,